So today we're at Pennard Castle, and I thought I'd share the story of the Night Hag, or the Night Hag of Pennard. She's an interesting character. You could say she was the triple goddess, only we're seeing her in her hag or crone-like form. So she lives at the bottom of the river. She comes swooping out at twilight, so that magical time of day. I like to call it eventide. Just when the light fades and it almost feels a little bit like day. And she swoops out with her arms behind her, which quickly emerge as wings. At the end of her fingers are long and bony, and they often described as containing the tangled weeds of the riverbed, and they sort of drift ominously like the tendrils or the innards perhaps of a person's soul. So she comes screeching towards the castle. People that sleep here at night, because another myth attached to the castle is that if you sleep overnight, you either die, become mad, or become a poet. Obviously the latter is the preferable option there, and it's probably attached to the night hag because she's said to jump on you if you're on her path or her route to the castle, and so she's like a nightmare. You know, that compression of the lungs, that gasping for air, that feeling of terror. So she swoops up to the castle walls, and then she haunts the walls themselves, so they become one with each other. So they've got this like symbiotic relationship, and she wails and screeches. And if you see her, you can see her in many forms at the castle. So whilst she haunts the riverbed like this sort of bird-like, crow-like creature, often at the castle, sightings have described her as quite beautiful, dressed in white, a maiden or a virgin in distress. Again, we've got that triple goddess idea, so linking our old stories right back to their kind of Celtic tradition and their roots. And I know someone who's heard a crying at the castle one evening and sitting looking at the view, really didn't know what to do, went to investigate, came down to this very window. I looked round the corner to follow the sound of the crying and saw a woman in white walking literally on thin air around the edges of the castle walls and crying. Obviously this is quite a frightening moment, and not a lot could be done from this position. So we have lots of modern day sightings of the night hag in many various forms, and I think really just the warning is, if you come from an old Gower family, and if you're going to camp here, do it with the knowledge or perhaps do it with the fear that you might not be a successful night out.